Hi Amy. Hi Moon White Angel. Hi the Saint. Hi Bobby. It is sad. It's an absolute tragedy what's happened. Hi Lady J. Hi Cheryl. An unbelievable story is unfolding. Bear with me 1 second, guys. Just give me 1 second. Bear with me, bear with me. I just need the link to this live. 1 second. I'll tell you what, I've just got a KView news update, so I'll let you catch up on that just while I'm sorting things out a minute. Yeah, let me play you that.
KView News Daybreak. It is now 6:29. We have been following this breaking news overnight out of the Houston area. Senior reporter Tony Plahetsky is here. We're talking about the case of the missing Austin mother, Heidi Broussard, 33-year-old, last seen December 12th. What have we learned this morning?
Brian and Yvonne, just in the last few minutes, ABC News at the national level has confirmed they are saying, according to their sources, that a body that was removed from a property in Harris County near Houston last night is in fact the body of Heidi Broussard. That is according to ABC News. ABC News also confirming this morning that at least one person is in custody as part of this investigation. Again, this all unfolding in the overnight hours in an investigation that really started picking up momentum yesterday afternoon. I do want to say Austin police and local authorities here in Austin are not in a position yet to confirm those details, but that is information that is being released from ABC News.
What can you confirm as far as the baby is concerned?
So authorities do confirm that they removed a baby from a home in Houston yesterday afternoon. This all began unfolding mid-afternoon yesterday. Austin police and local officials here, as well as other federal officials, were not yet in a position to publicly confirm the identity of that baby. They wanted to take multiple steps to do so, including a DNA test, and that is what is happening right now. As I said earlier, and as you can imagine, authorities want to make absolutely sure before announcing to the public and to announcing to Heidi Broussard's family that it is in fact the correct baby. We're dealing with a 3-week-old at this point, so they want to make sure that the identity of the baby is 100% accurate before going public with that information and informing the family. But as of this morning, they have not yet gotten that DNA test back at this point. And so that is one thing that authorities have really been wanting to have before making any sort of public announcement.
We do also know, or have learned through people there at the scene, that this was a home of someone Heidi Broussard may have known or was familiar with in Houston.
Yeah, what was the connection?
Yeah, so what we are learning loosely is that they were known to each other. Apparently they had some sort of friendship with each other. And so then the question becomes, did Heidi Broussard leave on her own with this woman? And I think an interesting question that we will be learning in the hours and perhaps days to come is exactly how authorities traced the baby and Heidi Broussard to this home in Houston. But again, as investigators have been interviewing friends and family members of Heidi Broussard, you can imagine that they have built a list of people she knows and people she has relationships, then going to those people and trying to figure out, you know, what they may have known in this case. I'm told in the case of this woman in Houston that she may have been, you know, publicly showing the baby to friends, to family members, and that may have, in fact, triggered a warning sign for someone to reach out to authorities and say, wait just a minute here, what's going on?
And so it was around 2:30, was it, when authorities from here, Austin police, went to Houston and they were searching that home for several hours, right? It was early in the afternoon.
That's right, and you can imagine that to enter a home like that, you can't just obviously go into someone's home. So then that would have taken some time to get a search warrant, to have that signed by a judge before they could actually enter the home and begin processing the scene. But it was the public nature of that search that sort of caused attention in Houston, as you can imagine, once you see an army of law enforcement, outside your neighbor's home. And so that is what really caused a lot of attention, new attention to be put on this case in the overnight hours. And what we've been seeing from reporters who were at the scene is, they actually reported seeing a body being removed from the property. And again, ABC News this morning is confirming that they have information that that body is, in fact, Heidi Broussard.
And the Austin police now, I saw a tweet just a few moments ago from the FBI office in Houston that the Austin police are now handling this as the leaders in this investigation. Of course, a lot of things still to tie up, being that the woman was from Austin. We know you said there was an arrest made. Do we know if the arrest was of someone in Houston at this point?
Yeah, it is my understanding that there is someone in custody in the Harris County Jail in Houston this morning. And one of the things that, Brian, you bring up as well, Austin police have retained their position as the lead investigating agency in this case. But we saw more than 60 FBI agents coming to town from a special task force, a nationwide task force. They arrived here within the past couple of days to aid Austin police in this investigation. Austin police and the FBI over time have actually worked well together. We saw that with the bombing incidents in 2018. But this team has special expertise in terms of locating abducted children. And so it will be interesting to see as this unfolds the role that they played in locating this baby as well.
It will be interesting to kind of piece everything together. So many unanswered questions. How did she get from point A to point B? What the relationship, all this kinds of stuff. So that should, obviously, hopefully within the days and weeks be answered.
And also, where in fact a crime potentially occurred, and whether or not this will become a federal case or whether or not it will remain a state case, I think is a question that we'll be looking to have answered in the coming hours as well.
And no word yet on the fiance, or if he's been notified or anything like that?
We have been reaching out to the family this morning. So far, they are declining to comment. You can imagine, obviously, this is a very tragic and sensitive situation for them. Law enforcement, as I understand it, one of the reasons that they have not publicly said anything is that they have been wanting to personally inform Heidi Broussard's family of the developments over the past few hours as well.
Just to recap Tony's reporting this morning, of course, ABC News, you see the headline there, a body found in Harris County identified positively as Heidi Broussard, the 33-year-old mother from Austin. Her body found in a home there in Harris County. A young child also found there, taken away to the hospital to be checked out. We're told, according to reports, the baby was fine.
That's right, in good condition, actually.
They're going to do tests to identify the child at this point.
That's right.
One arrest has also been made in this case, that arrest happening in Harris County.
A DNA test actually underway even as we speak to positively confirm the identity of Margo.
That could take some time.
And that can take some time.
Okay.
All right, Tony, thank you so much.
You bet.
For the very latest on that case. We'll, of course, have more from Tony as we learn more here this morning.
Okay, yeah, so an absolutely tragic story. It's unfolded overnight. I've just been trying to piece together and wait for sort of confirmation of everything, really, because a lot of stuff was kind of said but unconfirmed at the beginning. As I say, it unfolded overnight. It was early hours here, sort of in the UK, and initially it was just a kind of a woman found, and nothing was confirmed, nothing was released, and it was only not long ago that the family actually said that the police have told them that they believe they're just waiting. I think they were just waiting on the confirmation from the medical examiner, but the police believe that it is strongly believe that it is Heidi. And this is actually, I understand that this is actually a friend of Heidi, her house. I don't want to speculate too much because there is so much going around on social media at the moment. There's so much is unconfirmed, but it is believed that this was a long-term friend of Heidi's that may or may not have been faking a pregnancy. But as I say, I don't want to speculate too much. I do know that the baby Margo was taken to hospital and she is okay. That was confirmed by the grandmother to Crime Online that the baby's okay. Yeah, just an absolute tragic and crazy series of events. Obviously, a lot of people were pointing fingers at Shane. With his interview and stuff like that. Now, obviously, we don't, as I say, we don't know the full details as yet. So, which is why I'm not willing to say too much. But as we say, we do know that unfortunately and tragically, Heidi was found. She was actually found in the trunk of a vehicle that was parked on the property. There was a vehicle that was parked sort of just at the back there at the side of the property. I understand that someone called the CPS and the CPS were called out to the house and they just found the baby alone in the house. Nobody else was there and Heidi was found deceased in the trunk of the vehicle. It's just beyond belief. There's quite a few friends of hers that are, on social media. There's a lot of this going around on social media. I'm just speaking to a friend of Heidi's now. She just wanted to say how, how Heidi was one of the sweetest people she'd ever met. She loved her son and her dog and was super sweet. It's just absolutely, it's absolutely tragic. I don't know that, CC Val. I don't know how long. I think that's unconfirmed at the moment. How long she would have been there. As I say, this property, it's about 150, 200 miles, I believe, from Heidi's home. It was in Jersey Village, which is in northwest Harris County in Houston, Texas. So as I say, it's suspected at the moment. Well, there's 2 people initially were arrested, and according to the Daily Mail, 1 woman is to be arrested for murder. And it's believed to be a friend of Heidi's, a long-term friend. And I suspect, obviously, she wanted a baby. It's just doesn't make sense, does it? It's absolutely insane. I've got a couple more. Sending love and prayers to Heidi's parents and family, friends, everybody involved. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it must be absolutely surreal and heartbreaking for them at the moment. Yeah, Kelly, it is devastating, isn't it? Who would have ever thought that we were waking up to this today? It really just does not make sense. I say I've got a couple of other news footage, pieces of news footage that I can show you. So I'll let you watch these.
Samika, a person familiar with the investigation told ABC News at least one person is in custody. We're trying to find out how and if that person is connected to this home behind me. This is where sources say Heidi Broussard's body was found. She and her 3-week-old daughter have been missing since last week. Overnight, a 1-month-old was also found in this home alive. She was taken to the hospital to be checked out, but the fire department does not believe she was hurt. This was a busy scene yesterday and throughout the evening. Sky Eye flew overhead, capturing exclusive video of the investigation into Broussard's disappearance. The FBI, Texas Rangers, Austin Police, they were all here. Broussard dropped her son off at school in Austin on Thursday, December 12th, and was never heard from again. Right now, it is not clear what led authorities to this home behind me. We are expecting them to release more information today.
There are major developments this morning in the search for a missing Austin mother and her newborn baby girl.
A close family relative says the mother has been found dead, but that the baby girl is safe. Our Ben Russell is following this story for us this morning. And again, this information coming from a relative, not police.
Correct. To be clear, there is no official confirmation, Deborah, from police yet about who specifically they have found. But we do know they did find a approximately 1-month-old girl late last night. That's just about exactly how old young Margo Carey is. And we know that the medical examiner was called to the scene here and tells us someone is dead. This is all happening near Jersey Village, Texas, a small town northwest of Houston in Harris County, at a home owned by a friend of Heidi Broussard. A fire department spokesperson there tells NBC in Houston, KPRC, that investigators came to the home there specifically in search of Heidi Broussard and her baby based upon a call from Child Protective Services. Heidi Broussard's mother, Tammy, the grandmother of the little girl Margo, tells NBC News that her daughter is dead. The police told her a woman's body was found in a trunk and that it likely is Heidi. Again, the child they recovered is safe. She was taken to a hospital for an evaluation. The mother and daughter we're talking about were seen last week, about 8 days ago, after mom dropped her older son off at school and seemingly vanished, leaving her car, ID, and diaper bag behind at her Austin apartment. It's a story we'll continue to follow.
Yeah, it's just unreal, isn't it? It's unreal that there's people in this world that would just do that kind of thing. As I say, it's early reports are that it is a long-term friend of Heidi's that has done this. Someone said they're great detective work. Absolutely right. I mean, you know, when they did the press conference a few days ago, you know, it sort of appeared that they didn't have really much to go on, did it? But you know, you never really know. They know a lot more than what we do. And I do believe that they did say they followed a lot of social media posts and stuff like that to sort of help track down. I believe this woman that's been arrested was constantly in contact with Heidi as well. So yeah, it just blows your mind. It blows your mind. It really does. Just do not understand how people can do this sort of thing. Amy Jarrett, yeah, must have been in the trunk for a week. Yeah, I've no idea how long she'd been there. I mean, yeah, she was snatched. It's just over a week ago now, isn't it? Karen DW saying, why did Shane fail the lie detector test? I don't know. I haven't seen that anywhere. Is that confirmed? Is that confirmed news? This is a problem at the moment. I'm hearing so much. There's so much going on speculation-wise, but people say things like, when people start sentences like apparently and I've heard, that it's sort of, you know, I don't like to fly off of speculation and possible information. You know, out of respect for everyone involved, it's got to be, we've got to know for sure. HY Heidi's friend. Oh, I don't know about that then. I will need to we'll need to look into that. I mean, obviously, nothing's been fully confirmed yet. We don't know if or who else may have been involved in any other way. We don't know that yet. Obviously, one woman's been arrested on suspected murder charge. I guess that's, obviously the friend at that property. But we don't know anyone else who may or may not be connected at this time. I certainly haven't heard about the fiance taking a polygraph and failing, but it's certainly something I'll have a look at after this live. So for anyone who is just joining and doesn't know, tragically Heidi Broussard has been found deceased at a friend's property in Harris County in Houston, about 150-200 miles from her home. She was found in the trunk of a vehicle that was on the property. This sort of happened overnight. Somebody called CPS and CPS visited the house. Now, I'm not 100% sure whether that's what triggered this whole thing off. But overnight, FBI and detectives and everyone was searching the house. Baby Margo was found. She's okay. She is with family. She's fine and unharmed. There's no known injuries to Margo. As far as we know at the moment, nobody else is involved. Now, I don't know whether they say 2 people were arrested. I'm presuming that would have been the friend who's been arrested and her partner. I don't know whether they're married. I don't know whether what his involvement is. As I say, at the moment, we don't know this stuff. We just know that one woman has definitely been arrested. And it's strongly believed that it is a long-time friend of Heidi's. As I say, there's information's coming in all the time, and most of it's coming in on social media, to be perfectly honest with you. But it's just knowing what's true and what's not. It's sorting through the what's sort of BS and speculation and what's not. So I'm a little bit reluctant to say too much, but tragically, Heidi has been found deceased. So, our thoughts and prayers really need to go out to her family and friends at this time. I think that's the most important thing at the moment. Yeah, you're right, Kelly. It's a long time to be near someone, to murder them and take their baby. Now, this is just speculation, this I don't know, but apparently, or speculatively, this friend may or may not have faked a pregnancy. Apparently, there was some page set up regarding her having a baby. Certainly, if she wasn't pregnant, she can't really use postpartum depression as an excuse or anything like that. Yeah, I guess we're going to find out a lot more today, I would imagine, to confirm this information that's flying around. I'm a member of a few groups on Facebook and stuff like that, but as I say, it's difficult just to get confirmation of stuff. But yeah, it's a hell of a shock when I woke up to this morning. You hear of these things happening, but you just cannot believe in this day and age, really, that somebody would do that, can you? It's unbelievable. It's certainly a long-time friend. Now, there's also, this is speculative, this may not be true, but some people have mentioned that this friend was actually in the delivery room with Heidi. Now, I don't know whether that's true, obviously, but I mean, that would make it even more shocking, wouldn't it? Yeah, Gabrielle, possibly there is more to this than meets the eye. definitely, I think there's certainly going to be further details coming out over the next few days. As I say, everyone at the moment is just full of opinion and speculation, and that's the trouble. Um, that's why I was reluctant to do anything until it was actually properly confirmed by police. Even that it was Heidi that they'd found. It's I'd much rather wait for official confirmation before throwing stuff out there. Yeah, it is a terrible situation, Jenny. Especially now, I mean, just before the holidays, the festive season. I mean, it couldn't have got off to a worse start for the poor family and people involved, could it? It's just unfathomable. Unfathomable. Hi, Kim. Yeah, it's very sad. It's very, very shocking. Very shocking news. So I'm sure we'll probably hear more as the day goes on. I don't think the police have actually I don't think they have made an official statement as of yet. They've just confirmed to the family, I believe. It was Heidi's mum that kind of confirmed to some of the major news stations that it was Heidi that they found. Just leaves you counting your blessings at times like this, doesn't it? It really does. When you've got the festive season coming and thinking of spending time with your family and stuff like that, and then things like this happen, and it just brings things into a whole new perspective, doesn't it? And it's very sobering. Hi Blue West, you're saying that she was there for the birth. You've heard that as well? Have you heard that on social media or? Certainly a lot of information's coming out on social media, that's for sure. I mean, even Shane, a lot of the family and stuff even kept their Facebooks open. I mean, I know Shane took terrible abuse on his Facebook page. There was some, real harassment and slandering going on, which I don't agree with whatsoever. People are entitled to their opinions and about what happened and can speculate, but there's absolutely no excuse for harassing and slandering people before anything's even been confirmed. I thought that was outrageous. Oh, okay. Born. Heidi's friend was on chat and confirmed she was at the birth. Okay, so we're hearing that the friend was at the actual birth as well. The friend that has done this. That makes it even more unreal. You never think you'd be sat here reporting on things like this. It really just does not make any sense. Like someone said earlier, you can adopt. Why would you take your friend's life and take her baby? It's just absolutely insane. It really does not make sense whatsoever. And people did propose this as a possible theory a few days ago, and you just think it's never actually gonna happen, become real. But it has, tragically. Johnny Cuddy saying she's probably faking her pregnancy. Yeah, that's one other thing. I guess to say this is just speculation, but I think it may have actually been friends or members of this woman's family that actually have actually sort of phoned authorities or have let people know that this woman actually was not pregnant. So she was very likely, we understand at this time, she was faking her pregnancy. And yeah, for how long this was being planned, absolutely no idea. Yeah, Amy Jarrett, no idea how she was killed. I say no idea how long she was even in the trunk of the car. So there's been no information released regarding that. Law enforcement are keeping things very tight to their chest at the moment. I'd imagine that's probably going to break out later today, I would imagine. Yeah, you're right, Louise. It is the sort of thing you hear of in films, isn't it? And yeah, you just never think it would happen. I mean, I have spoken to one of Heidi's aunts, a couple of her aunts on sort of Messenger, and and they've just mentioned how surreal the whole thing feels, has felt for them, and you can totally relate to that, can't you? Yeah, it must just feel like you are part of some weird kind of movie, and it just feels totally surreal. Can't imagine that something like that would ever happen to you or anyone you love. So I guess we're just going to have to wait and see what's confirmed today, regarding anyone else possibly being involved. As I say, it's being reported that this friend is going to be convicted of murder, so certainly tried for murder. So they've obviously got substantial evidence to believe that, otherwise the police wouldn't have said that. But as I say, only one person has been charged at the moment, as far as we know. Possibly the death penalty. They're in Texas. Yeah, that's a possibility, isn't it? That's a thought. That's okay, no worries. Love living music. So I would have gone live a bit earlier, but I just wanted to wait for confirmation from the police, because for hours they were just saying that a woman had been found. They weren't releasing any names, and I was a bit reluctant to obviously report on it. So, but now it has been confirmed. It's been confirmed by family that the police have told them that it is Heidi's body that they found. Now I do have a link to the Broussard family fundraiser. I'll just put that in the chat for anybody that still wants to donate to the family. As obviously it was initially raised to help cover their, expenses and stuff while they were in Texas. Obviously now, I don't know. Obviously they're going to need our prayers and support in any way they can get now, the family. So, but that is the official. I've been told that is the official Broussard family GoFundMe. So there's no worries about the authenticity of that. It is so sadly, so it is. It is very sad. It's very difficult to report on these kind of things. Not enjoying doing this whatsoever, but I just know that a lot of you guys are heavily invested, in this case, and for Heidi and Margo, bless them. And it's just come to an absolute tragic end. An absolute tragic end. And there's no nice way to say this. There's no nice way to report it. Thank you, love living music. I'm sure that'd be much appreciated. Yeah, so as far as we know, so somebody was saying someone has been saying that Shane failed a polygraph But the trouble is, we don't know. We don't know if that's 100% yet. So there's a lot of stuff that's being said and speculated at the moment, and it's difficult, and you've got to be careful about putting stuff out if it's not true, obviously. I mean, a few days ago, everyone said that, everyone was saying that Shane from his interview, he'd done it, and all this sort of stuff. So I think there's a few people that probably need to reassess their interview analysis skills. I think we were way too scarred by Watts, weren't we? In his interview, we all turned into statement analysis experts, didn't we? There's so many detectives that thought they had him sussed. It just shows you that you can never ever tell, guys. Well, we don't know the full story yet, of course, but everyone had him down as Shane down as committing the crimes, and obviously he hasn't. So maybe things aren't always what they seem, and we don't need to. Chris Watts is not a template for how guilty people act. Everybody's different, aren't they? Everybody's different. Everybody acts differently in different situations. Everybody copes with nerves differently as well. So, I mean, it's fine. We all like to speculate, don't we? We all like to have our opinions, and it's all out of concern. Of course, it is for the people involved and the victims. But I even saw oh God, his name's gone from my mind. A former FBI agent. Oh, what's his name? What is his name? He did an analysis of Shane's statement, and he said that Shane was basically guilty and that he'd done it. Peter Hyatt, that's his name, Peter Hyatt. He had him down as guilty, and there possibly being child abuse. So I don't know. I think he may be eating humble pie, to be perfectly honest with you. But as I say, we don't know the full story at the moment. So all we know tragically is that Heidi's body has been found deceased, but baby Margo is safe. So thoughts and prayers for the family, please. I think that's the main that's the main thing at the moment. Everything else will be worked out. I'm sure that the law enforcement will have it all mapped out pretty soon as to what happened and who's responsible and who's not, if there is anyone else involved apart from this female friend. But yeah, just my thoughts go out to the Broussard family just before the festive season as well. Yeah, Blue Vest, that's a possibility. I think Megan tried to set Shane up. We just don't know, do you? This is the only thing with people saying stuff about other people involved. You don't know. You don't know if they're trying to were trying to set him up. You don't know whether they were trying to divert attention. You just don't know. Social media can be a great thing, can't it? But it can also be a very dangerous thing in a way, I suppose. It's so easy for people to throw stuff out there, speculation, and it's very easy to go on for people to jump on as well, and like you say, try and set someone up or put someone in a bad light if somebody's fallen out with somebody. It's quite easy to do that, isn't it? Gabrielle, I'm curious about the GoFundMe approach by Shane to reach out to the public, but mention nothing about the missing mother and baby. Yeah, I suppose some people maybe would question that. I don't know. I guess we're not in their shoes. It's difficult to know, isn't it? As I say, hopefully law enforcement will give us a bit more information today, and they can sort of quash some of these rumours one way or the other regarding anyone else being involved. Because believe you me, there is a lot of mud being thrown around at the moment on Facebook and other social media platforms. Everybody's got a opinion as to how this went down. I'm sure one or two will be right, but probably the majority are not going to be right. Yeah, Heidi, I'm sure the AD and his subs were had the pitchforks out, didn't they? I'm sure they did. I'm sure they had the guilty perpetrators straight away, no doubt. I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, I was really in two minds, and I know a lot of you were, about Shane's interviews. I thought the interview inside was extremely badly done by the people interviewing. It was a ridiculous setup. I mean, the poor guy's being interviewed by some woman that was on the mobile phone, and he's got standing there, he's got a light in his face. You know, they're moving his dad around and stuff in front of him. It was just a terrible interview. The questions they were asking him were ridiculous. You know, and it's totally relatable. If you're someone that has got anxiety or social anxiety, feels uncomfortable in those sort of situations, then you are going to act like that. And I know a lot of people probably would. You just don't know, do you? Thing is, we've seen someone did mention in the comment, we've seen a guilty person being interviewed for a murder of their wife or partner, but we haven't really seen someone that's not guilty, have we? So we haven't really had anything to balance that out. So it'll be very interesting, if Shane is fully innocent in all of this and he didn't know a thing, then at least that will give us a template, won't it, to go off somebody who's not guilty. So all that kind of swaying business, meaning that he was guilty, which a lot of people were saying, oh, because he was swaying, just like Chris Watts, he must be guilty. It's we're not all experts, are we? And we don't know. We don't know how people act in certain situations. Everyone acts different, don't they? But yeah, the second interview that he did outside, there were a couple of things that raised a red flag. One was when his phone, I know a lot of people have said this, when his phone went off and he kind of wasn't interested in answering it, which obviously did seem strange, didn't it? Because you'd think he'd be jumping at every single call to see if he'd heard anything. But yeah, so that did come up as a bit of a red flag. Other than that, there wasn't too much. There's some people saying a little bit of inconsistency in his story, but about the purse and the handbag, first saying it was in the car and then in his property, but could have just he could have just moved it, couldn't he? Bear with me 1 second, guys. Bear with me. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, too many, Marion says, too many basing their opinion off of Chris Watts' case. Honestly, would make you wonder. Seems that half the people on Facebook are qualified to diagnose duping delight. That's absolutely right. Right, I've just got some news coming in. This is a friend of Heidi's. She last saw her in the spring, early summer. She used to work with Heidi. She's just read that this friend owns that house that Heidi was found in, but it also says that she runs her own daycare. So as I say, this is coming in from a friend of Heidi's. She said that she's read that this it's a lady called, so it doesn't really matter me giving out her name now if she's been arrested, but it's a friend called Megan, Meygan, and apparently she actually runs her own daycare. Now, I don't know if it's from that house that they found her in. I'll just see if I can find that out for you. Hang on a second. If that's true, what a frightening thought for the mothers that left their children in that woman's care. Okay, yeah, so we're not sure where she ran it from, but yeah, apparently she ran a daycare. As I say, I think there's going to be a lot of interesting information, if you like, that's going to come out about this woman. So at the moment, it's only speculation, but at the moment we know that she was a long-term friend, or we believe that she was a long-term friend of Heidi's. She may or may not have been faking a pregnancy. She was at the birth of Margo in the delivery room with Heidi. And she also ran a daycare centre, we're now hearing. So it gets weirder and weirder. This woman obviously was not of sound mind, that's for certain. And well, what kind of friend? What kind of friend, seriously? But also, how frightening is that? That someone you believe to be a long-term friend, you know, and that Heidi obviously trusted, fully trusted, you know, trusted her enough, and it was a friend enough for her to be there at the birth of her daughter, and then they turn around and do that to you. That's unbelievable, isn't it? Like Tammy says, trust no one, and that's so sad, isn't it? That's such a sad thought, that you can't trust anyone. Okay, so Sonny the Allfather is saying there, this is according to law enforcement sources. The woman who pretended to be pregnant, this is her friend, has been plotting to take Broussard's daughter Margo leading up to the child's birth. So she's obviously been playing a great friend, you know, great supportive friend through the pregnancy. The whole time during this, she's plotting to kill Heidi and take the child. That's absolutely unbelievable. I never, ever thought I would be reporting on something like this. I've got to be absolutely perfectly honest with you. Yeah, so it's a Megan Rose Farah-Masuska. She's got a bit of a strange name. I have heard a different surname to that, but This is her, presumably this is her birth name. I'll put this in the chat for you. This is say this is what's being released. So and this is the woman that's been arrested. So it's not going to do me any harm me putting her name out there. And apparently she runs a daycare centre, which just makes the whole story even more unbelievable, doesn't it? No, this woman is clearly not well. Clearly not well. I mean, we've heard stories before, haven't we, about people stealing babies, but seriously, your own friend, one of your own best friends? That truly is unbelievable. And somebody was actually who was there at the birth of the baby as well. I think that just takes it to a whole new level, doesn't it? Yeah, I think it was about 150, 200 miles from this friend's house to Heidi's house. So, you know, trying to think here, presumably that, you know, she's obviously kidnapped, wasn't she, from either her house or from the school where she was dropping off her son. Well, actually, no, they believed she returned to her house, didn't they? So she somehow did they somehow trick her into getting into a vehicle or something? I'm kind of guessing that's what's happened. But say I'm just speculating. That's just my personal speculative opinion, if you like. Yeah, imagine the fear that Heidi felt, her own best friend. It's just unbelievable, isn't it? Right, okay, guys, I'm going to have to jump off. As I say, I'm sure more information will be coming out today. I'm sure law enforcement will be releasing further information about this today. But tragically, you know, the tragic news is that Heidi has been found, and you know, she's been found dead. But baby Margo is okay. So yeah, on that tragic note, it's prayers for the family, and I'm sure I'll speak to you again. If I don't speak to you before the Christmas season, have a wonderful Christmas season, and I'll speak to you in the new year. Thank you.